Welcome to the After the Show Movie Podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Ace Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Welcome, Sid Talk. Are you down with the sickness?
Not anymore, but I was.
I was very down with the sickness.
I think they can probably hear it in your voice. This is not the before the after the show discussion. It's been the before the after the show week.
In fact, we're kind of lucky that we got a podcast. It was on and off, wasn't it?
Well, we're a day late.
A day late and $1 short.
Because I'll just say, I'm going to be super sexist.
Sexist.
I've had the same thing. Did not spend one day sleeping, but you did. So, viruses are different for everyone. I know.
Mine was worse than yours.
Of course.
I mean, it was pretty bad. I don't know what it was. It was just a cold.
It feels like it because you've tested. You did your test.
I did, because I thought, this is so bad, it's got to be something worse.
Yeah.
But it turns out it wasn't. Well, I don't know what it was.
It's passing. It's temporary. It'll be gone.
Yeah, so if I sound terrible, that's why. I'll try and fix it in post.
Today. So any other day, you don't have an excuse.
No. I mean, you're right. I sound terrible all the time.
You do not.
Let's get on with the podcast, Sid Talk. Aye. All right. It is Sunday, June the 1st. This is After the Show 893. This is a weekly movie review podcast. And this week, we're looking at the new movie, Warfare. It's a 2025 release, out now on streaming. It's rated R. It's 1 hour and 35 minutes from our friends at A24. Sid Talk, can you give us the synopsis of the movie, Warfare?
I think it's in the title. It is based on a true event of a platoon of soldiers in Iraq, and it is their experience of warfare.
I'll give you the one off the box. A platoon of Navy SEALs embark on a dangerous mission in Iraq, with the chaos and brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. That's exactly it.
As well said.
All right, Sid Talk, Warfare, A24's newest release from the director Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. What did you think?
So you have to separate your feelings or thoughts about warfare, because that's one thing, right? And then seeing it depicted and knowing the entirety of the complexities of humans and war and all that shit. From a film, right? That is it has to be somewhat not fictional as in they made it up, but it's not a documentary, right? We didn't have a camera there. So it is the art of cinema, taking those events, recreating the place, the people, the dialogue, the gory stuff, everything. That's what I tried to focus on. And like the visceral experience of like, oh my God, like the fear and the terribleness of it, that super high quality. I mean, I won't say I enjoyed it because I feel like my stomach's in knots though. Like it was, and I'm not, saying like, I have no comment on the whole overriding thing. I'm just saying I'm in knots thinking about humans of anywhere, anytime, any era of all time from the beginning until billions of years from now, dealing with this warfare shit.
Yep.
It is awful. That's not a very big word for it, but it's just awful. And that's what I was thinking about. Those individuals and the way I was convinced that those people exist. And when they're done with their tour, they're going to need support. So
the story I just read that you don't know about is Alex Garland, the director of this movie. He also directed Civil War for A24. While he was directing Civil War, Ray Mendoza was a stuntman. He was an ex-military.
Okay, right.
Ex-military working on Civil War as a stuntman. And during one of the breaks, he was talking to Alex Garland and told him about this story about his friend. His friend had gone through this horrible thing in the military and how he'd always wanted to tell the story, but he doesn't know how to. So they sat down, talked about it, and that's how this movie came about.
Okay.
So it's authentic from the ground up,
Yeah.
And that's how it feels, right?
It does. I mean, I don't know because I've never been there. So I will not pretend on any front. And if anyone wants to roll their eyes at me at any comment I make about thinking it's visceral, all that shit, I've never been in this situation. But you get a human reaction like, I mean, what if I pulled up on the side of the road and someone was in a car wreck and their legs all mangled? What do I do? How terrifying would that be? And that's subtracting all the warfare part, right? So
yeah.
I feel like as a human, you can identify with some of the responsibility, you know? I don't know.
So the mission in this movie is really simple. The soldiers roll up at the beginning. They enter this home. It's a dwelling, right, of some people who live there.
It's just a house.
They take over the dwelling and then set up a sniper post. And what they're supposed to be doing is looking across to make sure that it's a safe route for their soldiers to come through the day after. So there's no enemy activity.
Well, because they're going to be taking up residence in this house to monitor the building across the street. Almost
immediately, there's stuff going on across the street, which escalates and escalates and escalates.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like a stage play, it all takes place in this one building. You could do it on a stage, this movie.
Yeah, definitely. It feels...
In fact, one thing I kept thinking about is when they stepped out of the building, and they did it a couple of times to do some things outside, when they stepped back in, it seemed like it was two different places. That was one of the things where the filmmaking was a bit... Do you know what I'm saying? Like they were... Like when we watch EastEnders, the soap opera, and you see them walk in and go into a house.
Oh, I get you. I didn't get that vibe.
I saw that 2 or 3 times. I was like, oh, I don't think that's the same place. It all takes place in basically like 3 rooms. Is that?
It feels like it, yeah.
And the action takes place not very far away. They managed to get outside at one point, and there's some action outside, but it's not like a epic scale. It's just I would say an ordinary incursion, but that's not a way to put it, is it?
No.
An extraordinary incursion. It's terrible what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're thinking, well, this is a true story, also very accurately told. I was just reading, there was no History versus Hollywood for this scenario. I had to go somewhere else. I had to go to Time magazine, and then I started reading half of it, and then when I got to the halfway mark, it said you need to pay now to read the rest.
No, of course.
Yeah, so I only know half of the details. Well portrayed. One of the most realistic, I don't know if it's realistic or not, and I'm sure it is, but the audio, it's very quiet a lot, because a lot of being a soldier, it seems to me, just from this little thing, is just sitting there waiting for something.
It seems like it.
And you sit there and you're looking and waiting and being quiet because you don't want them to know you're there. And then that's punctuated by very loud explosions or
gunfire
that goes off really loud in your, that's got to affect you, right? When guns are going off.
I mean, that's what you're trained for. But again, I can't grasp the impact.
I noticed like the guys had earplugs in.
Mm-hmm.
But then talking to each other, they talk louder than, because you have to have earplugs in, I guess, if you're using rifles right up against other people. Because you'd be deaf, wouldn't you? Very quickly. Because they are very loud. And then there's tank fire. Did you not think the audio was cool in this movie?
It was very good. There
was a moment where he said, I can hear the tanks. They're about a block away or something, a click away. And you could hear the tanks a click away. Like it was just, and slowly coming in, So,
at that point, we mind of if anyone's ever watched the American television show called MASH, there was a character named Radar O'Reilly, because he'd be talking and then he'd stop and then he'd go, "Oh, choppers," and no one else could hear the choppers coming in because it's a medical unit, right?
Oh yeah.
Always, he was the first one to hear the helicopter. So that's what that instantly reminded me of, like, a nod to Radar.
Oh, that's why they called him that.
Did they?
No, I don't know. I've never seen MASH, so I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, that. Yes. And I thought you meant in this movie. Radar could hear or you could sense things ahead of time.
Right. But what I think was standout about this movie is the camaraderie between the characters. You almost instantly become bonded to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a random bunch of dudes. And I'm not saying because they're like famous actors. It's just everybody's got their own personality. You're not sure what page some people are on.
True.
Some people seem a bit sketch in some way. Not sketch as they're going to turn against you, just that they might not have what it takes when the shit goes down.
You mean Tommy, the new guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He just seems like a deer in the headlights.
If you've never been in that situation, again, I'm not commenting. I'm just saying, my gosh.
And then you've got to account for all of that as the leader.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who plays the leader, he has to keep everybody in line. He needs everybody because he has to get information from each person. But then when the chain starts to break down...
you need everyone to be tuned in.
And the chain really kind of breaks here, doesn't it? They're not getting what they want from, you know, when you radio and then you say, like, we need support. They're not getting support every time, are they?
I don't know if the chain's breaking down. They did immediately when they said they had a man down, they're sending somebody. And then unfortunately, whatever asshole set up the bomb to blow that up, then the big brass has to make a decision. Okay, we've got 8 men pinned down. Is it worth sending in 2 more tanks? How much is it going to cost? How much time? How much more lives are we putting at stake? Right? That is when it slows down. And they say, oh, also, don't forget the men coming to save them were also under attack.
Yes.
So I don't think there's a breakdown so much as it's all fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my best way of describing it.
And the movie's just about the shit goes down and how do we get everybody out of there?
Correct.
It's just an evacuation mission. And you would think they'd all be dead, right?
Yes.
It seemed impossible. You know, you're just stuck in a room. There's guns firing from every direction.
Yep.
They're setting up bombs outside. What was that, a bomb, that big IED he called it, whatever that is,
that blew up the tank the first time?
Yeah.
They suspected it was, but I don't think we ever got a clarification.
I mean, it was very big.
Yeah, the tank pulled up and just as they were loading everybody, it just exploded.
Did we say spoilers?
Oh.
We're saying it.
Spoiler alert, everyone. Plus it's also a real event, so
It is. Very well portrayed. Let's look at the cast. Will Poulter plays Eric. We've seen Will in Death of a Unicorn the other week. A very different role for
very
him.
different. So he's doing well. He does a good job.
I thought there was a couple of times where I didn't say it because I probably would have coughed. I was going to turn to you and say, I think Will Poulter's like one of the... He's awesome.
He is really good.
He's playing so against who he is. First off, he's playing an American. And
Yeah.
pulling it off 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, that's a weird accent. No, he pulls that off. And he's playing a very serious person who's in charge. There's no jokiness to him like we saw in Death of a Unicorn. It's acting. It's acting. He's an actor.
It's like you're shocked.
Yeah. I feel like he can do anything, that guy. I think we're going to see him a lot in the future, you know? He is a good actor. We've got Joseph Quinn, who's from Stranger Things. He plays Sam. What do you think of Sam?
I don't know which one that was.
He's the Stranger Things guy.
I don't remember which one he was, or I wouldn't say that.
I'll put a picture on my screen and then you'll look at him.
He's from Stranger Things?
Yeah, he was the guy who played the heavy metal on top of the bus.
Oh, okay. The brother. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's good. So you're going to ask me multiple times. I'm going to tell you that every single person made me feel I trusted that they were taking it very, very seriously. And he had to scream in pain. And so that would be tough.
Yes. For a lot.
Do you think as an actor person portraying anyone who's gone through something like this, like very specific thing in real life, that you have the imposter syndrome constantly? Because you're like, dude, you might even, in this situation, you might even be talking to the real guy who comes to the set to advise everyone. And you're just laying there. You're just an actor. You're going to hop up and you're going to be fine. You're going to go off and do your thing the rest of the day. And you're trying to pretend to live this guy's pain. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if your mind is like, okay, it's just, I got to just do it to be honest and true to the guy's situation. But I'm also a poser. Like, I don't know what it feels like to get my legs blown off, you know?
We've got Defaro Woon-Ate, who plays Ray. Now, he was exceptional. He's the guy who's the communications guy.
Absolutely exceptional as a character.
Yeah.
I mean, Elliot, of course, is the bomb, really. Oh, sorry. That's too soon. Elliot was amazing. But yeah, that guy was, from the very beginning, he was comms, he was medical, he was leadership. He
You could
had
tell
everything.
He wasn't clowning around. It was
Correct.
Yeah. Even though the movie starts on them all clowning around, that's the only time you really see them clown
Absolutely.
around. Yeah.
There was no comedy relief.
No. Cosmo Jarvis is the guy who plays Elliot. Elliot, the movie's dedicated to Elliot. Elliot's
the real life guy.
And if you watch right through to the end, there's a Elliot visiting the set at the end.
Here's a spoiler alert for you. It's not because he died. That's what they usually dedicate a movie to a person who died.
In fact, that was interesting because it said for Elliot.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, Elliot, because it just put him in the back of the tank. And then it showed you Elliot visiting the set in his wheelchair. And you're like,
it's because even in the movie, as I was watching, I'm like, Elliot is one tough motherfucker. Oh my gosh. If that is how that guy was.
Yeah.
He literally got his legs blown off, his arms all blown up. He's got a serious head injury. He looks dead. Looks dead, right?
Yeah.
Then this one guy who's taking care of him, Minnie Soprano, and you're like, why is he taking care of him? He's gone. And then he wakes up, sits up, kinda like puts his head up and says, I need morphine, like immediately. And I'm like, yeah, you are tough man.
Michael Gandolfini, talking of Minnie Soprano, plays Lieutenant McDonald.
No disrespect, Michael.
He's also excellent.
I didn't know your first name, so. Oh, yeah, everybody's good.
I really liked Michael Gandolfini in Daredevil just recently,
Absolutely.
too. I'm becoming a fan. Directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. Ray Mendoza's a military guy. Alex Garland's other A24 movies, by the way, are Civil War, Ex Machina, and Men. Remember Men?
Yes.
So Alex Garland's got a bit of a range.
He's got some range. Yeah, there's some breadth. Yeah.
And he's also the co-writer of the 28 Days Later, or 28, the first one, with Danny Boyle. So he's been around for a while. So what do you think? He
likes the grit, doesn't he? He likes to show you the grit.
Making it seem realistic, yeah. Interestingly, this movie's not all shaky cam.
Oh, no.
It's very, easy to see everything. It's not, confusing like it could be.
It's functional in a good way. There's nothing fancy. We're not putting the camera on the front of the tank or anything like a GoPro to be cool. We see some of the footage of overhead satellite imagery because we're getting comms feed from.
My question was that real from the actual mission? Because it was that, it's the from the satellite where they're all pinpointed in
and
white.
Seeing individuals walking toward them and vehicles coming toward them. Yeah, I don't know. But there wasn't so much of that it was obnoxious. We've got glimpses of a movie recently that's so bad with The Hobbit in it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where it's like the screen is full of screens.
Open windows.
It's really bad. And I don't normally tell you that movies are bad, but and to be fair, I've only seen snippets. So it could be brilliant. And yet the parts I've seen make me want to not watch movies ever again. And so that's a good measure for me to tell me I don't love those movies.
When I was sick the other day and I was on the couch, I had one of those streaming channels on with horror movies, and a movie called Sand Sharks was on.
Sand Sharks, right on.
I watched the whole movie and I knew I was sick because about halfway through it, I was like, this isn't bad. I'm actually enjoying this.
Oh, but you didn't see Sharks of the Corn. That's a true example.
This is pretty much on the same par as that. It had Hulk Hogan's daughter in it. It had sharks in the desert coming up out of the sand.
Okay.
There is no water anywhere. Yep. It was very, very shitty. But somehow, due to the fever, I was like, this is real fun. So maybe that's the way you should watch.
Maybe that's the key. Be sick all the time, and then everything that's shitty is good again.
All right, IMDb reviews, what are those?
Lots of reviews on a website called IMDb where people sit down and do what we're doing, really, but in a really lazy way. All they're doing is tippity typing on their phone, probably. I don't like this movie. It's a waste of my time. If you see 10-star reviews, it's AI. It's fake. They paid for it. Where we spend the time to make an entire podcast to say some of the same things.
Yes. Okay, there's only actually one review that is 1 out of 10 on IMDb, so we're just going for one this week. It says, the most overhyped war movie ever. The title says it all. I had high expectations, but not a single one was met. I just don't understand the critics, the ratings. It's an over-stylized movie that drags on for almost an hour and a half. Yes, that's what happens in war, but I don't need to sit there and watch it. Exactly, don't. Don't.
Yeah,
Just leave.
exactly.
The best thing about it, though, is they did a good job on the sound mixing.
True that.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's it. That's the only negative review.
Oh.
Well, it's the only
Wow.
1 out of 10,
right.
and that's all I'm interested in. All right, extras and conclusion. We didn't see any extras. We watched the streaming version, but let's give this movie a score. I am going to give Warfare an 8 out of 10.
Nice. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? The best movie you ever saw?
That's not how I measure. 10 out of 10, as in there is nothing I would change or fix about the experience of it, what it is, any of it. And I can't not give it a 10. Like, there's nothing about it that isn't just slots right into like an amazing movie watching experience to give me maybe a sliver of a percentage of understanding of what some of my fellow human beings have experienced in this life, right? In a thing I'll never be in. And I can't fault it. So there you go. I don't know why you'd give it an 8. What are you going to fix? What do you want to fix?
Well, I you know my score system. The best movie I've ever seen is a 10.
Right. So there can only be one.
So it's really
though.
high.
Yeah, but you can only be one.
My 8's like a 10 for you.
No. So you're 10. If it's the best movie you've ever seen, then you can never give that, because as soon as you give one a 10.
I never give it, do I?
Like Magnolia.
Yeah, I'd give that a 10.
Right. So then everything before it, nothing measures up.
No, nothing. That's how my score works.
Oh, this totally measures up to Magnolia. Come on.
Not in the slightest. All right. Movie recommendations. I'm going with Civil War, which is Alex Garland's other war film, told from a completely different perspective, from a photojournalist's perspective. Still really interesting. And Apocalypse Now, which is my favorite war movie. Like a lot of people say it's Saving Private Ryan. For me, it's Apocalypse Now.
Definitely not Saving Private Ryan. And I don't know that I have a favorite war movie.
You don't?
So I don't really have it in me for that. No, I don't.
All right. Well, what are yours?
My recommendations are going back to the 20th century, as we know, or not just the 20th century, but the entirety of the invention of movies from the beginning, and picking only horror, as they like to say. And I'm just going through the whole century. So 1988, Child's Play. I'm not talking about quality. I'm talking about that it exists, and I watched it. I've watched them all, actually. Pumpkinhead, 1988. It's just in that genre of like, we're going to make up a crazy, weird, same as Child's Play. And Phantasm 2 is coming up next. So there's this idea like, okay, who do we make the crazy, weirdest, something functional, not functional, cosmically bad? And then who are they going to kill? Basically, that's the bottom line. And then we have Dead Calm, 1989. If you don't know what that is, that would be, what's her name? You know, Australian, red hair. I'm thinking Margot Kidder, but it's not Margot Kidder. It's Nicole Kidman. Oh my God, I was so close.
I was going to say Margot Robbie.
No, close.
She was like 3 years old, probably.
No, this is 1989, way back in the day. And then we have The Fly, too, which I'm sure a lot of people would say did not measure up to 1.
It did not.
So there you go.
All right. Ace Scully stuff. I haven't played anything because I've been sick.
You have. That is a sure sign of you being sick, my dear.
So what's for dinner?
Tonight, we're going to do some Taco Bell, because neither of us are really in the mood to heat up the kitchen, because we forgot to mention it's hot in here. We have not turned the air conditioner on yet.
It's 87 outside today.
It's getting hot in here. You know, that one.
Everybody knows that one.
That's it.
All right, Sid Talk. What is your advice? And let's get out of here.
My advice isn't an advice at all. And it's going to irritate some people. So here we go. Your beliefs, like what you've come to decide about, whatever, philosophy, religion, politics. I am not required, nor does the universe demand that I respect those beliefs. Whether you like it or not, I'm not going to. I will respect your individual ability to take those ideas, beliefs, whatever it is, Turn it into actions that are not complete and utter fuckery. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If your belief is that everyone who has a different belief needs to be destroyed, I don't have to respect that. No, I don't. If your belief is that I have to have the same religion as you, or else I'm going to go to your made up version of eternal damnation or whatever, I don't have to respect that because it makes no sense, right? I don't have to respect that. If in the course of our relationship, you and I have a mutual understanding and we can discuss and and we're cool, I respect you for that. If every single time we see each other or we interact with each other, you are telling me I'm going to your hell, I'm going to need to go to church, I need to do this, I need and that it taints our relationship, I don't give a shit about your belief. That is a flaw, and I don't have to respect it, and I don't have to respect you for putting that into the world. Now, again, a lot of people are going to really dislike this point of view, but I think if the idea is, if your attitude is, I want to do good things in the world, I want to do the best I can to make things better for people and places and things and life 100 years from now and people living right now as best I can, right? I might just live my life and never do anything. I just live and I eat food and then someday I die and then I've just been part of the machinery. That's fine too. If your idea is, I must dominate and tell everybody what to do because I'm right. And I'm going to make actions and make laws and make regulations that shove people in a box and control people's behavior and the way they can express themselves and their ideas. And I get to punish them for being different from me. You know what? You can fuck off. Yeah, totally and completely. I'm 57 and a half almost. I don't give a shit anymore if people don't like that particular part of my personality. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Sid Talk.
Yeah, sure.
ascully.com, that's the place you can go to get this podcast. Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky are the places you can go to find us on social media. I'm A Scully, she's Sid Talk. You can also find the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, ascully.com, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Don't email Sid Talk, she doesn't want your email. And stay classy, Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. What a great movie.
And I'm going to say, think for yourself, because if you're not doing it, somebody's doing it for you.